So I just wanted to talk about my experience with DID, which is dissociative identity disorder. Um, so I actually got it because I accidentally ate an edible, not knowing that it was an edible, and I ate the whole thing, and it lasted in my system for about 14 hours. I was home alone by myself during the time that I took it, and I had thought I went to diabetic ketoacidosis because I had type 1 diabetes, and I was in the process of texting my friend. I was like, it feels like I'm going into a DKA, and I didn't get to fully send the message because before I knew it, I think I had blacked out on the couch. And then next thing you know, I open my eyes and I'm standing up in a different room screaming. And it was like really, really traumatizing. Like really traumatizing. My hallucinations were really bad, especially with my phone. And earlier that day I had changed my phone number and didn't tell anyone I changed it yet because I had just changed it. So I was calling my mom. I was trying to call her during this whole thing. And I think I was able to press the call button once. And she didn't pick up because she didn't know who it was. I was just freaking out. Really bad hallucinations of my phone. Like, I couldn't see my phone. Like, I was seeing stuff on my phone that wasn't there. I honestly can't remember, but I think I heard, like, some, like, cussing or something, and I don't know if I started, like, freaking out or something. I can't remember. But my insides were, like, on fire, like, burning so bad. I didn't know how to get out of the house. I didn't know how to open the front door, so at one point I just started banging on the glass door, screaming, which no one came to help. But I think a little bit after, my brother did come home from work, and I was able to get outside somehow. I let the dog out, so my neighbor came over and was like, is everything okay? And my brother had said, there's just something wrong with her diabetes. And so then he came back and he held on to me because I was like, I need to hold on to you because I think my whole body was like shaking really, really bad. I was having like really bad panic attacks, I think. Felt like I was having seizures like the whole time. Now, this is over a span of 14 hours. I would say the last bit of it, like maybe an hour or two of it, I was laughing, which was honestly the best part of it. And I started to feel better. And then I had knocked out, fell asleep. I had to wake up the next morning at like 5 in the morning because I had to go do a 12-hour shift at my job, which I work at the hospital. So it was really stressful for me to show up at work and be able to perform the task of saving lives while still being really fatigued over what had happened. I should have called out of work, but my mom insisted that I go to work, so I went to work. And a month later, this is where I'm getting into the dissociation identity disorder. So a month later, I would say, so I took the edible in November, so I would say like right before Christmas, I was working a 12-hour shift again, and it was probably one of the busiest days that we've had on the unit, and I came home ate some cookie dough, and then I had fell asleep, went to sleep. 10 minutes later, I wake up in my brother's room, in his arms, and I am just crying, screaming. I'm like, how did I get here? And it was like, oh my gosh, this feels like I'm on edibles. Like, this feels exactly what I was experiencing. And I kept saying that. I was like, who drugged my cookie dough? Who put something in the cookie dough? Because I bought the cookie dough. And I thought that someone had put something in the cookie dough. And, sorry, that's my dog, my puppy. So I ate the cookie dough, thought someone drugged my cookie dough. So when I woke up, I was screaming. My mom had waken up. She came in the room and she was like, what's going on? Because I think I tried to call her again. Didn't work. So she came in the room and we were trying to figure out if someone did put like stuff in the cookie dough. Everyone said they didn't put anything in there. So it was like, okay, is it because I ate one egg? Is this causing me to feel like I'm on edibles? So we came up with all these like theories and stuff. So I felt like I was on edibles the rest of the night. I was able to go to sleep in my mom's room with my mom, so I would just like stop having like panic attacks. Fell asleep. She went to work the next day, and my sister was the only one that had stayed home the next day to make sure I was okay. So I woke up and I was still feeling the same way. Like I was getting to rooms and not knowing how I got there, freaking out. Really, it feels like you're on edibles. I don't know how to explain it, but like I can see you, but I can't respond. It's really weird. It's really hard to describe, and I've been trying to explain to my therapist, but it's hard to talk about it when you were going through the experience of being on an edible that high of a dose, that good quality. You almost like you can't remember anything. That's how trauma kind of works. It kind of makes you forget things, so it's really hard for me to sit here and try to talk about it to my therapist to see what can we do, how can we fix this, how can we get you back to where you were before this happened. So again, a month later after I took the edible, went to work, 12-hour shift, came home, ate cookie dough, woke up in my brother's arms like 10 minutes later after I fell asleep, and that all happened. Went to sleep in my mom's room after I calmed down. I think everything was really dizzy. And woke up next day, still felt the same. So my sister took me to the emergency department. It was terrible because sitting in the emergency waiting room, you sit there forever. And I'm over here like so messed up, and everybody's like staring at me like, are you like okay? Are you mentally messed up or something? And it feels like people think I'm crazy, and it honestly feels bad. So finally got back there. They did some like basic tests like COVID, flu, all of that. Finally made it back to the backpack, and they couldn't figure it out, so they just gave me anxiety medication. Honestly, that didn't help. I think they gave me Atarax. That did not work. I think it honestly made it worse. And so we went home. The next day, my mom took me to my pediatrician. I'm 20, still go to my pediatrician. She was like, go back to the emergency room, see if they can run some tests for thyroid, do some brain scans, because I do have neurological things going on. So maybe she thought something neurological had happened. She didn't know about the edible. My mom told her. she was like, no, can't be in her system. Long gone out of her system. So we went back to the emergency department. Took all day. They pumped me with magnesium because I was low on magnesium because I have diabetes, so kind of makes my magnesium low. So they had to put magnesium in me, did the scans, and during this time I was really affected by light for some reason. So I was really triggered when there was any sunlight, any type of light, any light. So I'd have to wear sunglasses, and when I went into the MRI, they had to put like a towel over my eyelids because all of that shaking and all of the lights and all the noises, it was really bad because I was still feeling really bad at the time. So I really had to hold on during that thing, and I think they tried to do it really quick because of what I was experiencing. So comes back, they're like, okay, there's definitely something mental going on. It's nothing inside your body. There's nothing there, nothing wrong. So my mom, the next day, she takes me to a behavioral health place, and we go in, and the nurse comes out, and she's like, why is she so drugged? Who drugged her up so much? And my mom's like, she's not drugged. She's not on anything. So she was like really, really like confused, and BL too. So she, I had actually had my mom like be allowed to come back with me because I'm over 18. I signed papers, which was really hard for me to do because I was like, just sign it. Just sign it because I could not read it it was like a paper of words. And so I signed it. She was supposed to be able to come back with me. The nurse didn't let her come back with me. So I was already like freaking out because I like could not talk myself. I'm like not here. And so the nurse starts asking me, she's like, what's your height, what's your weight? That's a little 4'9" and like 120 pounds. So I was just like going around there because that's kind of where I stay at. She was like, no way, you can't be that much. And then she asked me again, how much do you weigh? So I told her the same thing in confusion because I'm like, what? Like, what? And then she started making me cry because I was like, are you trying to say I'm fat? So that kind of made me upset. So then she took me back to her room and she was like, you need to tell me what's going on. Like, she kind of had like this attitude, and it like made me upset because that's like, no, that's not how you talk to me. No. So she takes my blood pressure. She's like, well, your blood pressure's in stroke level. And she's been sitting here trying to take my blood pressure like over and over for the past like 30 minutes. And it's like just consistently staying at like stroke level blood pressures. She's like, well, we can't take care of you here. You need to go back to the emergency department because you have stroke level blood pressures. So we're like, oh, wow, this helped me so much. So my mom kind of got upset at her, which, understandable. So my mom took me home and we checked my blood pressure at the house because we have a thing. And my blood pressure was fine. And the only reason my blood pressure was in stroke levels is because she was making me upset. And I don't know how she did not know that because she's a nurse. So, after that, we kind of just gave up going to see doctors and shit. So, we tried another place. I was on a wait list for 2 months to get into therapy. Told them everything. Told them I was at the emergency department twice. I'm consistently having hallucinations. I can't look at my phone. The light's affecting me. I literally can't do anything. I'm just so not here. So stressed out. So tight in the body. Can't breathe. So the hospital sent me home with some Atarax the second time I went. And I just kept taking it every time I felt really, really bad, which was all the time. So I kept taking it every 6 hours, I think. I was really sleepy. But, so this lasted for about a week and a half of me feeling like this, and it was terrible. Couldn't go anywhere because I'd get triggered when there's so many objects or too many people. It would trigger it, and it would make everything worse. So I couldn't go out anywhere. And this was around Christmas, so everything was packed. Couldn't go anywhere. So, just stay at the house. Couldn't go to work. I had to go through a process with medical leave. Still on it, and it is now February, so this all started back in November. But I did work a little bit after I took the edible because it wasn't happening until December. So I was good the whole month of November after I took the edible. So in after a week and a half of that go around, everything was fine for a little bit, and then here and there I would have really bad panic attacks. It was just panic attacks. There was like once every week I was experiencing the same thing where I would kind of feel like I'm drugged up. So I would tell my psychologist, I think it's my psychologist or my psychiatrist, I don't know. I would tell him about these things, and he's been prescribing me on, I'm on Zoloft, I'm on Atarax, I'm on, can't remember the other one, but I haven't started it yet because it says suicidal ideation for one of the things, and do not take if you have seizures, which I'm going to a neurologist because I have to see if I have seizures, and so I'm scared to take it until I figure it out, because I don't want anything bad to happen. Even though it is like a low dose, it's 50 milligrams, still kind of scared to take it. So right now that's where I'm at. I'm taking medicine, but he did diagnose me with PTSD, severe anxiety, severe depression, and wait, I keep forgetting the name. I have bad memory now. Depersonalization identity disorder. He diagnosed me with that because that is what I'm experiencing because of the bad experience of the edible. Now this can happen with LSD, shrooms, basically anything like that. It can happen with like regular weed, not just edibles, if you have a bad experience. Now you won't get DID if you don't have a bad experience. You're fine. Just don't overdose too much. Now I did not know I was eating an edible, so I ate the whole thing. There was no label on the thing. Otherwise, I would have not taken it. There was no label on it, and it was just sitting in the house, so I just ate it. Now I know kind of just to ask, even though, I don't know. I just ask because I'm paranoid before I eat anything in the house, and yeah, so I was diagnosed with DID. DID basically, you feel like you're still experiencing the high, even though it's well out of your system. So whatever symptoms you experience during your bad high is what you're gonna keep experiencing, even though you're not on anything. So basically, I keep having episodes where I feel like I'm back where I was when I took the edible. Exactly where I was. I experienced panic attacks, blacking out, waking up in a new place, my throat closing up because of the panic attacks. I can't breathe at all. I become unresponsive. I can't respond. I can't really do anything. So when my therapist tells me, do these breathing techniques, it's really hard because these episodes, they come out of nowhere. They just come out of nowhere, so I can't prepare for it. And so my throat closes up immediately. I can't do anything. I can't even try to breathe. I can't do any of that. It's really hard. Now, when I know that when I hear like familiar voices, like my mom or my mom's friend, or my brother, it kind of brings me back to where I am, kind of. Now, I still feel a little bit wonky, but I won't be completely where I was at. So that's where I'm at with this. I really don't know how to feel about it. I do feel really guilty for eating that. I feel really bad, because it's changed everything for me, and I don't know if I'm gonna be stuck like this forever, which is another thing why I'm freaking out. I want to get back to myself. I want to get back to work. It freaks me out because I want to get back to work, but I have so much anxiety that I feel like if I go back to work, I'll black out, and then, one of my patients, might get hurt or something, and I'll be liable for that. So I have been looking for work from home jobs, but there's really nothing, because I'm just a CNA, so I'm not a nurse. I've been looking at telehealth jobs for CNAs, but there's nothing around me. And it's just really hard. It's really hard. I just want to work. I want to make money, because I have things I have to pay for. So I've been living off my savings. I